Well, welcome to this episode of Drawn to Whitetails. I'm Drew Ramage. On this week's show, we're going to continue with the trend of turkey hunting. Turkey season is winding down this week, but we got a couple more hunts we'd like to bring you, and I'll touch on that here in just a minute. But a couple other topics I want to touch on before we get to that is bucks right now are really starting to grow their antlers. We've seen a few of them as we've been hunting, and they're starting to get those round masses on their heads, kind of look like tennis balls. They're starting to grow those antlers. So if you haven't got your mineral sights out, go ahead and get them out, get them established right now so these deer can utilize that during the antler growing season. Next thing we touched on several episodes now is shed hunting. And Hunter Hancock, one of my friend's sons, we were hunting this past Saturday, and he came across a very good looking shed. This was definitely a mature deer, and it's good to see that this deer made it through the year, and they're going to have a mature deer to hunt next fall. So Hunter's got some great eyesight, found that shed, and actually found another one that day, and I'm going to start utilizing him next year during shed season. So be ready for that call, Hunter. Let's go ahead and jump into this week's show though with the turkey hunts. The first hunt will be Dale Wilson. Me and him had been hunting that morning, and we had struck him a bird but kind of boogered him up, so he went back into that same area that afternoon and did a self-filmed hunt. So here we go. Let's join Dale Wilson, and then we'll jump into another hunt after that.
Hey y'all, this is Saturday afternoon, second weekend of Kentucky turkey season. I'm Dale Wilson, Drawn to Whitetail Pro Staff, and I'm going turkey hunting by myself. So stay tuned and we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Okay, just a quick recap of today's turkey hunt we did, and I did this afternoon. Just a short previous of the morning of the day. Drew and I went this morning, and we sat in one spot to about 9:30 and didn't hear anything close really. We saw like 4 hens and 5 jakes, and we sat there about as long as we could. We got up and moved. And we got a turkey to gobble, but we kind of got some confusion going on, and he saw us before we could get set up. So we left, and I went back this afternoon by myself. I got in there about 4:30 probably, and went back in there where that turkey was gobbling, and called and didn't hear anything, and eased in there and just stood around a minute, listened, and kind of looked at it in the field. Didn't see anything. I stood there probably 10 minutes and called again, and a jake gobbled just right out behind me, maybe 50, 60 yards. So I hurried up and got set down. Didn't have time to put decoys out or anything. Just got the camera set up and turned on. Got set down there and called again, and no answer, nothing. And I sat there in a few minutes. Here comes 3 jakes in right in front of me. Well, I was filming them, and I I was looking at all of them standing right in front of me, maybe 10 or 12 yards. And I hear wings dragging on the ground, and a turkey strutting. And they're not strutting, so I'm thinking, where's this gobbler? And I thought, well, he's not with them, or he'd be behind them. And in a minute or two, I saw something to my left, and there was 3 longbeards coming to my left, maybe 10 yards, and they was running after those jakes. And you see it in the video, they were after them, and they chased them off, and I was able to harvest one of those longbeards. And so I just, that's a tip. If you spook a bird, just in an area, just wait 2 or 3 hours or so and go back in that area, because he just don't run completely away. He'll be in there. And another thing, those gobblers, they came in, they never made a sound. They didn't gobble one time. So as a rule, usually if you call and you think there's turkeys in the area, you should sit down there and sit there a little while and give them a chance to come in. Because all he was doing was strutting and drumming, which a hen can probably hear that for 150 yards, 200 yards. And a lot of times they do that, especially, when the hunting season's been going on for a week or 2. So it was a good hunt and a good day for turkey hunting. And this is Drawing Whitetails, Dale Wilson, and the season never ends.
Well, what an outstanding hunt Dale Wilson had. 3 toms versus 3 jakes, and as you can see, the toms were winning until Dale decided to pull the trigger. Josh Yancey had another instance that kind of showed jakes versus toms, and he had a tom with 2 hens, and 3 jakes showed up. Well, those jakes whipped that tom and messed Josh's hunt up. So it depends on the numbers game, who's got the most in their favor on what may happen in that situation. Let's go ahead and jump into the next hunt, and that was me. That was the same day that my hunt's the same day as Dale's was, except mine was a little bit earlier in the day. We had again hunted that morning, and I was driving back from a piece of property and decided to check another one out. I'd gone to the middle of the property and have a great lookout spot, great calling spot. And I tried to call and look out, but I didn't get any kind of response. But I decided to go to another part of that farm where I could overlook this field. And thank goodness I did. I was able to locate another bird. And let's just see how that hunt unfolds right here. Okay, we just spotted a hen and a tom down here in this bottoms. So we're getting ready to get the gun and go down there. They're going around a point, so I think I have plenty of time to slip down there and get on these birds. Here's my first Tom for 2016. Whew, had to shed a few clothes. That sun came out and it started getting pretty warm. But kind of cool this morning. But anyway, came over here for the midday hunt. Can't stress that enough. As these hens start going to nest, these toms start freeing up, you know, say 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. And again, I was able to have success with that again here on one of my farms. Anyway, Indian Creek show tube, did a number on him. I think it was about 38 steps. I hope I got decent footage of him, but a lot of foliage and kind of hard to self-film. So I did the best that I possibly could. Well, thank you for joining us. Glad we could get this bird on the ground. This makes number 3 taking off this farm. So I think I'm done turkey hunting this farm. Gonna let it rest. If there's any other times, let them make it through the year. Got several jakes, and we're just planning ahead, planning to the future for next year to have plenty of turkeys to hunt next year as well. So I'll hit a few other places and see if I can get my second bird down in Kentucky. Well, we hope you enjoyed those hunts that we had to share with you this week. A few tips that I think we can pull from those hunts, especially from Dale's, is if you spook a bird like we did that morning, don't just give up on him. He may just move out of sight or just off a little bit, and then you can come back in a couple hours later as he settles down and be able to call him back in. That's pretty much what happened with Dale. Next thing is be ready to set up immediately if you strike up a bird or you're calling, because you never know where that bird may show up or how quickly he may show up. That morning, those birds came really quick and we didn't set up in time before they busted us. And then finally, they're not always gonna gobble and just come in. Sometimes you just need to sit there, be patient, and they'll come in quietly, just like those toms did. He knew the jakes were there because they get given one little gobble, but he did not know that those toms were in the area. It just goes to show if you be patient, sit down, give it a little time, it can all pay off. And then the final thing I want to touch on is don't overkill a property with turkeys. We've killed 3 off of one property, and I'd only been hearing 5 or 6 gobbles in that area, so we decided to go ahead and pull the plug on that property, not hunt it anymore, and make sure we've got birds to hunt next year. I know we had several jakes utilizing the farm, so next year we should have the opportunity to harvest more and more turkey. Next week's show, I think we're gonna have one more turkey hunt for you, and then we may also have a cooking of turkey. We may do one of our favorite recipes and just share that with y'all. But we're gonna be transitioning from turkey hunting to deer stuff as turkey season winds down. We're gonna be talking about, you know, stand placement, the adjustment of some sets, accessing some stands, and probably food plots here in the next probably month and a half. So we hope you enjoyed this week's show. Continue to go check back every week to what we're bringing you, and we hope that we're sharing some tips and knowledge that may be beneficial to you and what you're doing. So again, thanks for watching, and as we always say, the season never ends.